Welcome, everyone, to the Tuesday edition Minions of the Zoo. Your keeper this evening, Skep Tock, and with me I have Minions Prospero.
Hello.
And the Harry Channel.
Good evening.
I always feel like I'm using Harry as an adjective when I introduce you as,
Yeah. Well, the origin of the name has to do with the fact that I occasionally would sort of go into rant mode. Mm-hmm. And when I would start going into rant mode IRL, some of my friends started referring to it as the Harry Channel. So
that's
I just carried it over.
Mm. And so, ladies and gentlemen, tonight we have with us the Prospero channel, the Harry channel, and the Skep Talk channel.
Yeah, well, it does get a little weird when I was on my channel, and I feel like I'm supposed to say the Harry channel, which is
exactly yes, because exactly
yeah.
Because things.
It all gets very meta after not very long.
Speaking of meta, I thought this was an interesting story that I didn't see much coverage on today. This is just something that has captivated me. Have either of you been following this business with Brazil and the Iranian, and I'm going to use quotes here, air quotes, really big air quotes, warships?
No.
Wow.
Okay.
Let me tell you all about this. So Iran says, we got a navy. Uh-huh. We're going to send out a flotilla. Okay. And we're going to go to Brazil. And we'll dock at Rio.
As one does from Iran.
How many Iranians dream of going to Brazil? It's a childhood dream of most Iranians, I think we could safely say.
Time, Skep, wasn't the last time they did that, didn't they make the boat out of papyrus?
Right.
Sorry, go on.
Was the rock.
And they went in the other direction.
Yeah, it was the other direction. Well, that's well played. But anyway, Thor Heyerdahl is spinning in his grave at this moment.
It's the Khan and Kon-Tiki.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Never mind. Please carry on.
God almighty.
So Iran says, we'll send this 2-ship flotilla. Okay. And this is a very interesting flotilla. This very interesting thing that they're doing. It looks stupid. It looks absurd. And I think it's smart as hell. Here's what they're doing. They send out this ridiculously small ship called the Dina. I'm going to present one of my old people shouldn't try and present. Anyway, let's see. Where's my photo? That's all right. If you look at here, look at this screen, in the big picture here, can you see something that says it's marked 441? Something that looks like a ship.
Yeah.
Okay. What that is a big honking compartmented tank body below where you see that cut in the bow. And all that is probably mostly tank and machine rooms back there. That means that thing has a hell of a lot of oil in it. Now, let me tell you something else about that. That ship is 800 feet long. That's not a small ship. And it's also an LPA. It's a landing platform helicopter. They have helicopter stuff. It's also a big logistics ship. It has weapons. It has ammunition. It has oil. It has gasoline. I'm sure it has aviation gasoline for whatever their helicopters use. It has stores. It has food. It has water. It has everything that a 2-ship flotilla would need to stay at sea for a long damn time. I guarantee you they can do underway replenishment. And that is how that little ship is staying afloat. It's probably on oil that's coming from this big guy. So they come over to the Western Hemisphere and they say, let's go to Rio, Iranians want a good time. Head for Rio. So the United States ambassador says we don't want that ship to dock in Rio, because the normal docking procedure, if you go into Rio de Janeiro, is you got to get permission from their port services and all these other people. It's a raft of people you got to get before you can even go in there, or you'll be surrounded by gunboats. And if you're a private owner, you very likely will lose your boat and could end up in jail. So this is a big deal. So the U.S. ambassador to Brazil said, don't let those bastards in here. If you let those bastards in here, we're going to be really mad. And the premier of Brazil said, okay, be mad. And they're docked in there. But I think that's very interesting. How much do we know about what's on that big honking ship that is absolutely, it's virtually unsearchable, I guarantee you? Nothing.
Yes.
It's a rhetorical question. We know nothing. So what if there was a nuclear bomb on board that ship that,
as opposed to all the other ships?
Exactly. I think Iran is just trying to fit in with the rest of the people, so that seeing Iranian ships will not be a big deal. That's exactly what it is. They're trying to fit in with the camouflage. And that will be yet another potential arrow in their quiver, if they really get backed up against the wall. Those people are very scared of us. They really will. They're grasping at straws, sending out this, flimsy little thing. This is all strategy and no muscle. I kind of admire it in a way.
Yeah, I mean, it's ballsy.
It is a ballsy move.
What other?
I can't fault their balls. I really can't.
What other possible things would they gain from this?
There probably are some people back on the Iranian side who have such an unrealistic picture of the state of international relations and their position in the world that they think that this is either prestigious or good for their image in some way, or makes them look like a more important country than they are in the world.
Yeah, there was a guy that I worked with years ago. Not a bad guy, but he started up with customer number one, and then the first thing he did was book travel to a bunch of different locations around the world, different company offices, where he ended up meeting with people all over the place. And I jokingly referred to this as his charm initiative. So just go around, shake hands with people, making friends. Maybe this is. I have to think that there's got to be some logic behind this that maybe we're not getting. Because when the Chinese build a fake island somewhere, you understand why they're doing that. It's a way of sort of claiming territory. I don't think they need to go through this much effort to make it normal for ships to go places.
That's a great point, actually. I agree with you.
Well, I mean, they could just as easily pay to have a cargo carried by a ship under a different flag if they just wanted to. Because that's just big enough to hold Teller's original H-bomb design.
Yeah. But what is?
Yeah.
But what is?
I've got a picture of that, by the way.
Yeah, I know. It's just Mark one of that. It's funny the way that things get smaller over time. It's like to think of things they're going to do with transistors. Like the first design was not really all that feasible. It's just kind of a funny thing, given how brilliant the guy was.
By the time we got to the Mark 82, it was pretty refined.
Yeah, the change was happening quickly at that point, but
it was a lot smaller.
From what I gathered from listening,
yeah.
you guys think there's a nuclear bomb on that?
No. They're just spurging out about the size of bombs. Back to the original thing. What are the Brazilians up to?
Well, they seem to have turned left.
Well, I understand that they went from that fascist Bolsonaro, back to their normal communism.
They're the soft socialism.
Oh, it's the new the ladies that clean my house are Brazilian,
Mm.
and I've heard all about it.
Yeah.
What did they say?
Well, the new president is a good president. He's not a gun-toting redneck.
Oh, okay.
Wonderful.
Mhm.
Yeah. In other words, a commie.
He
Rednecks are a real
strongly
problem
believes
down there
in
in Brazil.
socialist. He strongly believes in all, take 40% of your income for free health care.
He's a communist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
It's only
probably some
40
helicopter fuel on that Iranian boat. Just saying.
It has a helicopter platform
Yes.
on top of it.
I was thinking it needs a
Isn't
boom.
it a she? Is it a she in charge of Brazil, or is it a he?
I guess we'll
It's
see that. We'll
a
see.
person that my
Oh.
maids like.
Yeah, well, your maids are idiots.
I know.
But bless them.
One of them voted for Joe Biden.
Well, bless her heart.
How many times?
I asked her that, but sometimes our language gets kind of confused, and she didn't get it.
Yeah, it's in Chicago.
She's a citizen, right?
Yeah, well,
she
that
actually
button.
is a citizen.
You know that button that you press to cross the street. When you get to the crosswalk and you press the button, and you always see the people that they have no patience, and they think that if they just press the button a bunch of times, that the crossing thing will think there's like 10,000 people waiting to cross, and that it'll change faster. I think that's what they do at the voting machines in Chicago. They just go with the little lever that says Democrat. They go tick, 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 tick,
There's
tick,
nothing
tick, tick.
wrong with hitting the button 1,000 times to get across the street.
Yeah, that always works, by the way.
Yeah.
Actually, it has no impact at all, but it makes you feel better. It's like the elevator button when you've been standing there.
I'm just saying, you push it a bunch of times and then it changes.
I know.
Something's got to be happening there.
Yeah,
It's like the potty dance, but with your finger.
Yeah, there's
What is wrong with you? Are you high?
No.
He's just tired.
I'm just tired. But you know the little dance you do when you can't quite get to the toilet and you're trying to distract yourself? It's just like that, but for your finger.
Oh my gosh. If you're ever in the car behind my mother, if the car is moving, she has to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
She's shaking the whole car, and it's funny because there's been times I've been behind my mother and I'm like, oh, look, it's grandma.
But listen, if you guys really wanted to know who the president of Brazil is, this guy's name is Luis da Silva. They call him Big Lou. And he's a member of the Workers' Party. He was their guy from 2003 to 2010. I thought I heard somebody say that on the news
before the
other day.
chick who was super communist.
Yeah, super commie.
That Bolsonaro replaced.
So he's kind of short. He's kind of short, not too wide, and well trimmed.
Yeah, well, he's got a decent looking beard. He does a good job with his beard.
Well,
good. Beards are important for commies.
The ladies have said about Brazil, they have the city, I guess, it's not a town, but it's a village, there we go, have fences that have barbed wire on top around them so that people that aren't supposed to be in that village don't come in and steal.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, and also, if they're able to get in, they will rob you blind.
I wonder where in Brazil these gals are from. It's a big damn country.
It's a huge country.
Yeah. Soup to nuts.
I don't hire illegal immigrants. Sorry.
No, I didn't expect. I just didn't.
The government pays them to do it. So.
Yeah, I always love it when somebody's become a U.S. citizen and can't speak English.
See.
Seaside. So's. God damn it.
I understand you.
I now have to run through the declensions, It's just one of those things. It's like when I got that puzzle the other day of the God of all the place names. Dnipropetrovsk. It is like one of the hardest places in Russia for me to pronounce. Dnipropetrovsk.
Dnipropetrovsk?
Yeah, that's it. That's fine, Jenna. Shemp. It's Shemptown. The minute I looked at this puzzle, I said, oh shit, I'm going to have an earworm for the rest of the day. Because of Lobachevsky.
Yeah.
It's Dnipropetrovsk, where the guy who's working on the thesis is. And, my name in Dnipropetrovsk is cursed when he find out I publish first.
Just call him Neppy.
Yeah, no, it's important in the context of the song. Drink up, people. We were talking about Tom Lair.
I heard Tom here or Tom
Lair.
Tom Lair.
Oh. I was like, Tumblr?
Tom Lair. The
guy that Harry has on the screen?
No.
Oh.
No, okay. My name is Jose Jimenez. That's Bill Macy. Not Bill Macy.
Bill, that's
Bill Dana.
Dana, thank you.
Dana, yeah, that's what it is.
Why would Bill Macy's name come to me? I didn't even like MotZ.
Who was the Mercury 7 astronaut who loved the Bill Dana accent and was doing it as they was doing it back to the Capcom when they were actually doing the countdown? Gus Grissom.
I was going to guess Grissom.
Yeah,
it sounded like a Grissom thing to do.
Yes, it was.
Before the
How you doing, Jose? That's what Gordon Cooper called him. Cooper was the Capcom for his flight. Yeah.
Anyway, I think I distracted you. I apologize.
His name is Joss.
Sort of what the stream is. It's
Jose
the distraction.
Jimenez.
My name Jose Jimenez. That probably is. Disinformation or something censorable now. Probably not allowed to do.
Oh, it's cultural appropriation.
Spanish accents, yeah.
Cultural appreciation.
And
of course, he's not Spanish.
My favorite is racism, and I was like, oh, what's the Spanish race then?
Yes, well, there's white Spanish and brown Spanish, I guess. Is that the thing now? I don't do
mildly tan Spanish. Yeah. There's
beige.
The Cubans. The Cubans are kind of beige.
Yeah.
Cubans are not really that beige.
They're Spanish by features.
Yeah.
By comparison to a large amount of the Spanish-speaking world, they resemble their Spanish forebears.
If I put Nathaniel up next to a person from, I forgot the country already, Cuba, that guy would look extremely dark.
One
of your children of the corn babies.
You also
He's not a child of the corn.
You're also talking about mestizos. There's a mestizo thing throughout the islands, throughout South America, throughout Latin America, that doesn't exist in Spain. I mean, you have Moorish blood in Spain. It doesn't matter. I mean, we're just talking about the amusement of what falls under Latinx these days.
My cousin's husband was stationed in Spain for 3 years, so one of her children were born there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, on the base, but she loved it.
Yeah, it's a nice country. It's one of the pigs, but it's a nice country.
Well, she was on an American base, safe, so...
Well, it's not that the country. Well, it depends.
It's not. There are places that you don't want to be.
That wasn't the case when I was there because Franco was still alive. Pretty much there, you could go anywhere in Spain because the Guardia Civil was all over the place, and they'd beat the shit out of you if you looked sideways at somebody. It was very safe, very fascist, but very safe.
It's like Singapore's kind of like that.
Yes.
You can't bring gum into Singapore.
Yes, you can. I brought gum into Singapore.
Do you still have all your hands and feet?
Oh, let me tell you, it's safe to say this now, but I went to Singapore. We flew to Bangkok, bought a bunch of Valium and all these they're legal prescription drugs, but you have to have a prescription to buy them. Flew back to Singapore and flew back to the United States. That's how stupid I was.
Holy God, you're lucky.
In the depths of my addiction, one of the trips that we made was, we called it our drug trip.
You are so lucky. I mean,
that's a fair statement.
Not only could the time...
Ron was so drunk he almost got kicked off the plane. That scared it. I'm sitting there with load of Valium and Transine in my overhead bag, and just praying that shut up, Ron, keep your mouth shut, do not talk to that stewardess again, do not. I mean, I was his minder. That's a freaking 20-hour flight back to San Francisco. You get to fly through Hong Kong. You connect at Hong Kong.
Mm-hmm.
It's great when you have a connecting flight at Hong Kong. You're escorted by machine gun toting guards. That's absolutely was true in 2001 when last time I was there.
In 1999, when you went to the Rome airport, you weren't escorted by the army guys with the guns. You just knew they were there, and their dogs were mean.
Yeah.
In Mexico, the federales, maybe I don't know if they're still called that, but the police do. If it's a tourist area and they want to keep crime under control, they will just run around with machine guns and stuff in the airport. They're very well armed. Because they don't want to lose their cash crop, which is American tourists.
Yeah,
my aunt and uncle went to Mexico, and the police robbed them.
I'm not surprised.
Which part of Mexico was it?
I don't. I was like, you're idiots. I'm not talking about this anymore.
Yeah, well, like if you go to Cancun or someplace like that,
they didn't go to. They drove over the border.
I know, I understand. There are parts of Mexico that are pretty nice, and there are parts of Mexico that are not so nice. Where they don't value the tourist dollar because they're working for the cartels. Anything anywhere near the border is just going to be pure cancer, and it doesn't matter which side you're on, honestly, because the cartels. The human traffickers and the bad people in general are on both sides of it. And
Are you saying there are bad people in Mexico?
I'm saying that a good chunk of the bad people in Mexico are doing business in the rural parts of California.
Yeah, and Texas too.
Well, I think you guys are a little less tolerant of them. We've legally bound our own hands with a lot of the... don't go after illegals thing, and I just feel bad about the completely innocent American citizens who live in those places that are not being taken care of.
Yeah,
it's not fair. I think they should be dropped off at Pelosi's house.
That was that Tucker Carlson's prescription or something. He was saying something like that. Start dropping them off where some of these people live. But the problem is that we as a government, we're so sclerotic. We can't formulate good policy. There are so many special interests that must be appeased at all possible, and have the meetings between these people and see what the two special interests can work out, and then I'll vote accordingly. That's the way most votes happen. That is the way. That is what influences most of our legislation. Every single person in the Senate and to the same extent now in Congress enjoys the attention of all of K Street, all the lobbyists who just want to do nothing but own themselves as politicians so that they can tilt the playing field, just in some tiny way in favor of their company, without regard to the effect it has on other people who have to deal with that decision. It's interesting to see somebody like McConnell come out and say, for example, that those tapes of January 6th should not have been released, I'll almost guarantee you that he is paying somebody back a big favor. That is a tombstone move by a guy who's about to leave the Senate, and he is paying somebody back, somebody's big time. That's the only thing I can figure. I can't figure out who could own him to make him do that.
Make him let McCarthy do it. You mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, McCarthy doesn't run any. He's.
Yeah. This has been very interesting.
I'm glad McConnell wasn't in charge.
I have a cue from Madame Guillotine, and at the top of that cue is going to form every judge that didn't allow any of that film in as exculpatory evidence.
Oh, I'm with you.
Because
it was conspiratorial.
Yes, it absolutely was. And matter of fact, a defendant requested a delay that was just denied by somebody who's getting ready to assume a DC district position. There's going to be a ton of litigation on
when the political parties shift. When the political parties shift, an old saying from the Civil War is going to come back into vogue: bottom rail on top this time. And and I ain't no way tired.
Well, it's, I tell you, it isn't going to even take the political party shift to occur, because there are going to be mass appeals
to liberal judges who will be pulled out of the vote.
That's absolutely fine, because something is going to get bumped up the line, and it is going to depend. In some cases, they might be able to appeal.
None of this is going to go to the Supreme Court.
No. But it might go to one of the federal districts.
One of the DC districts, yeah.
There are many things that they're required to do, but provide exculpatory evidence is on the short list of things that you literally have to do it.
Yes,
it's not optional.
Right.
It is. It is Kamala Harris's stock and trade is what we saw take place. It is grounds for disbarment. Did Liz Cheney go to law school?
We should disbar her anyways.
This is a question. I couldn't remember whether Liz Cheney.
No, I don't think she's a lawyer. I'll check real quick.
It's a shame, because the Wyoming bar could have some fun for a minute or two.
Liz Cheney.
Her education is, let's see, born blah blah blah, education Colorado College, BA. No, she does have a JD from University of Chicago. So I'm wrong. She does.
Well, University.
I'd like to know which bar she passed.
I'll tell you in a second. Hang on.
Okay.
Chicago.
She could have her reciprocity shut down. I mean, it's not going to matter. She's got a cushy little teaching job at UVA.
She took the Wyoming bar.
They'll disbar her.
Yeah. And she has reciprocity in Virginia, and she actually is currently there at UVA.
Yeah, but
she's a professor of practice.
She has 5 children.
Yeah, well, Wyoming should disbar her. I would encourage the Wyoming bar to move against her, because she sat on a committee that knew that exculpatory evidence was out there, and she did nothing, and she had the power to do something.
She certainly should be sanctioned. I don't know if it's disbarment, but it's certainly, for something like that is misconduct. That is truly
it's utterly unethical. It is utterly unethical.
Yeah,
and when you breach ethics like that, I mean, I understand that the California bar is never going to move against anybody, because they're
conservative.
Well, they're completely up each other's ass. But I would like to see some of these pricks that were on that committee disbarred, because they saw this tape and they perpetuated the injustice. It was bad enough that these people were held in durance file. In some cases where they were not denied, They were denied bond. They were held. They were tried in a kangaroo fucking court. God damn these judges to hell. I swear to God, these people are the enemy of everything good and decent.
I don't know if you can blame California for this, though. You know, where the ACLU is located, headquartered in New York. Southern Poverty Law Center, pretty sure that's not California.
I wasn't blaming California. I was saying they're not going to disbar pricks like Kensinger or Schiff or any of these people. They're not going to act on it. They didn't disbar Kamala Harris. She should have been disbarred.
No, they're not going to disbar her, but
that they should have, because of what she did when she was AG.
Yeah, I mean, like, I know the California Supreme Court is not as radical as you might expect.
The Ninth
no, well, if you look at
the Circuit,
there's a ton of rep.
Yeah, the Ninth Circuit is a disaster, but
Jenna,
it's the thing.
Just one thing, real quick, Harry. Jenna, don't just be if they're Republican appointed doesn't mean that they're not radicals.
I know.
Yeah. You never really know with judges, and in some ways that's a good thing. But
the David Souter effect.
I have an idea for the next topic, because I know we're still talking about this. I just want to get in line.
Okay, well, what's your idea for the next topic?
Oh, well, I had a thought this morning. I was thinking about
I was
thinking about the press, right, and what's been happening, because you notice there's more stuff being covered, and of course the assumption is that the smoke-filled room where the Democrats make all of their decisions, that they've decided that they're going to put heat on Biden. That's what everybody always says. I sort of feel like the theory that all of the press is basically owned by, you know, these powers that be is probably not correct. And I sort of think of them as like a cartel, where it's kind of a loose association and there's a memo that goes out. But like any kind of cartel, there's a financial incentive to be the first one to sort of break ranks.
Yes.
So imagine if you
Nigeria.
Yeah, well, if you look at
cartel,
the press covering like the Biden laptop, right? Or any of the Biden crime family stuff. It was like everybody was pretty much in line. There was a strong consensus for a long time, and then suddenly there was a shift. Now, I think that this was more due to the fact that if all of the news looks the same, there's no market advantage. You can't long-term hold this cartel in place.
What is the shift you think you detect?
Well, the Twitter files had a lot to do with...
well,
I mean, the Biden thing started to fall apart, but the Twitter files really made sure it had to.
Well, I think multiple things started to sort of shift, because after the first election, everybody was pretty much in lockstep, right? And there was like a good year plus honeymoon where the press was just covering for every single thing the Dems did.
They were just giving him blowjob after blowjob.
It was a blowjob with a reach around, and it was just you know,
full gratuity.
Yeah. You know, there were cherubs fanning him and feeding him grapes at the same time. It was all there. It was all there. You know, it was a full service.
The fluffing of the Biden administration by the press was a sickening thing to behold. But after about a year of that, what happened, Harry?
Well, eventually, as with any sort of thing, because you could talk about the press, you could talk about, you know, science, a lot of things. Cartels of ideas never hold long term. They can't, because fundamentally, if the truth is at such odds with these things, somebody's going to break, because it gives them an advantage to be on the other side.
This is taught as a universal truth in business school. When you're getting your MBA, you are taught cartel behavior is always inefficient, and cartels always break because of this overweening or overbearing irresistible financial incentive of somebody to break the cartel. And the classic case was the way that Nigeria broke the OPEC cartel that had such a stranglehold on the world in the 80s. And the Nigerians said, we'll sell the oil. Fuck you guys.
Yeah.
And they're what the artificially high prices that was strangling the West. So you're absolutely right. I just want to offer that as an example. Please continue your point.
Well, I mean, my point is I generally believe that a lot of stuff that people think is controlled is emergent. And I think that the press is functioning as a cartel, and the changes that we're seeing now are not because they're any less democratic or whatever. It's just that the cartel's starting to break down.
Yeah.
And the timing of it relative to the elections is, I mean, it's important, right? Because they know what side their bread is buttered on. But at this point, just regurgitating the same party line as everybody else is just a road to everybody, just stagnation. You know,
well, also, you also have some rats bailing out of sinking ships because a lot of the press is damaged.
Well,
I mean, it's hemorrhaging.
But from your point of view, what is going to be the next thing that happens?
Well, actually, from my point of view, I think Prospero and I are just using different words to describe the same thing.
That was exactly what I thought too. But I'm interested in next steps. Where's this going to go as the cartel breaks down, and who will emerge as the, because when a cartel breaks up, there's a lot of interesting stuff there for the grabbing. Who do you think is well positioned to grab?
Well, I think if you're in a news organization that's going out of business or slowly dying,
CNN.
CNN is not liberal. Don Lemon said so.
Yeah, well,
okay, but
the Lemon, but he's. I just think it's interesting to watch. My main thesis is simply that everybody assumes that there's like this tight, rigid control of the press by the DNC. Now, they have a lot of influence, but I think it functions more like a cartel. That's my whole thesis. In terms of what's going to happen, it just depends on, whether somebody who's functioning as a whip is basically going to be able to bring everybody back in line with promises of favors. I mean, the election itself will generate a certain amount of traffic for the news media, right? Yeah. So it's an opportunity for them to make a lot of money. So there's a lot more disincentive to break ranks at that point. But right now, this far away from an election with plummeting ratings, some's got to give. And I think that the editors are not throttling the more honest members of the media quite so much. And also the heterodox people going off to, Barry Weiss and Schellenberger and what was the other guy?
Matt Taibbi.
Oh, Matt Taibbi and Greenwald. Green something.
Greenwald.
Glenn
Greenwald. Yeah. I mean, all these people have sort of broken and gone off onto their Substack sort of stuff and are getting paid by subscribers. You've got an awful lot of people shooting at you from who were formerly on your own team. It's got to take its effect. I mean, I just think that this is the normal evolution of things, personally. It will be interesting to see how much people get in line. My crystal ball doesn't work quite that well. If they think that Biden is going to run and win.
He said he's going to run.
I think he's going to run and lose, and I think he's going to lose to Donald Trump.
But if they think he's going to lose, there'll be a lot less incentive to kind of pile in behind him, to prop him up for another 4-year adventure at the White House.
He fell walking up the stairs again.
He stumbled again.
Yeah.
I can walk upstairs and I have rods in my legs.
It was windy.
Maybe that's what he needs.
Yeah, Gaff-a-Minute Joe hasn't really been that worried about not looking ridiculous for a long time. He wouldn't be able to leave the house if that was a problem for him. I don't think shame is a big problem for Joe Biden.
No, he doesn't know where he is at the time.
Harry, I saw an interview and the interviewer said 2/3 of the country do not want you to run. And he went, so I'm going to run.
Yeah, well, he's doing such a great job. I mean, I don't know what the numbers are.
There's the cost of eggs.
Well, there's a lot of people that don't want Trump to run. I don't know how many there are, but there seem to be a fairly loud number that aren't the Lincoln Project. I'd be curious to see what kind of support. He keeps winning straw polls and generally seems to be ahead, and it's early to say. So I don't think that the opposition to Trump is as strong within the Republicans is as strong proportionally as the opposition to Biden right now.
I have a selfish reason for not wanting Trump to win.
Okay.
James will go back in the military. No doubt.
Is that something that's easy to do?
No.
Yes.
No.
Jenna, no, it's not. And
No, it's not.
And not. Calm down, honey.
What he might do is go back in as a contractor.
Yeah.
That's easy to do.
I don't want him to do that either.
Not being a contractor is fun.
No. Being at home with his children is fun.
Well, a guy's got to make a living, you know.
Yeah.
But
loading terrorists into skeet traps and pull.
Oh, he.
Yeah, I was thinking with the deportations that we need to do, and this is a joke, Susan. This is a joke. So don't get upset with me.
No, we have new Susan.
Well, new Susan. Whoever Susan just as a placeholder for whoever's in charge.
Yeah, it's the Mark II.
It's like Shemp, but it's Susan for whoever's doing the censoring. I think we need like a border adjacent trebuchet. You know, we just
release the prisoners.
You know
we'll aim them at the Gulf of Baja. It's fine.
Yeet.
It's nature.
You know, it's just I mean, I understand that yeet got overused, but I'd still like to hear that as the command.
Yeah.
You know, just
ready aim.
Boing. It's like, look at the arc on that one.
Yeah, I have no ill will to most of the people on this planet, but like MS-13 kind of people who terrorize American citizens.
Drunk drivers.
Wood chippers.
The only people I dislike more than those people are communists.
And, well, child molesters. But they're all aren't they?
Communist pedo MS-13 members are some of my least favorite people.
Yeah. I wonder what kind of tattoos they'd get. Probably terrible.
I don't know. The unions always have the best songs.
Yeah.
My daughter, who's just turned
another
19,
Tom Blair.
Look for the union label.
That's from the folk song army.
Yeah.
My daughter, who just turned 19,
guitars are the weapons we bring.
Was looking. She's from Afghanistan.
Fight against poverty,
and she has guilt
injustice
over the fact of her freedom because of how turned around it's become since Biden, you know what,
but
85 million weapons and all the people left behind.
Yeah, well, she, number one, should not have guilt over her freedom. She was a child. She bears no responsibility for any of this.
I know that, and I'm working on it. My 16-year-old also has the same issue, but she doesn't remember living there. So she just kind of is following my older daughter.
Well, that's not good.
Yeah, I'm going to have to do something to...
Yeah, you are. You're going to have
I'm going to have to bang their heads together and tell them to knock it off.
Yeah, well, I mean, okay. May I make a suggestion?
Sure.
Tell them this is not the way to create their own little personal version of victim culture.
Oh, they'll hate that and they'll be like, we're not like that, and they'll stop it. You're genius.
I'm evil is what I am. Yeah, I mean,
get them an ice cream soda sundae.
Yeah, it's like they do in the TV shows. You sit down over an ice cream sundae and you work out all the teenage angst problems.
Well, that's what Assassin said.
No parent ever.
No. Here, have some ice cream so I can.
Assassin had a good comment I want to bring to everybody's attention. Actually, Assassin has a lot of good comments, but this is the one that I liked, and he's not. Oops, nope. I like that, but also wanted to highlight this. He will make a fortune as a contractor, and he'd make a fucking zillion dollars at his rank. With what he would be in charge of, he would make good money. I just will leave it there. My goodness. My goodness. And also wanted to take this opportunity to Assassin the only way child sniffing Joe trademark can win again is if they fortify the election again. People still own firearms. Well, that's true. Not that those statements are necessarily
related at all.
No, not really. Just happen to be, a different.
That is what's called a non sequitur, boys and girls.
Yes, or maybe just a list of facts.
Yes,
just a list of facts.
Here are some things I learned today.
God, that is just annoying. Oh my God.
Oh God. Because those ads were bad.
That's our president. That's our president. That's the best we can do right there.
That's a fortified.
That's not the best we could do. There are a lot of people that make a much better president on both sides.
Man.
Well, there aren't a whole lot on the other side, just saying. But yeah,
there
are better people.
At this moment,
there's just not a lot of them.
A crunchy mom.
A crunchy
you know what
mom.
That is.
Joe Biden my ear without my permission.
Good times.
Remember when they all were wearing the Joe Biden t-shirts?
One of the things that gets me about the corruption of the Biden administration, that's the guy at about 1:00. And recently, all but 2 Ukrainian oligarchs were rounded up and indicted. Just a whole bunch of stuff going on there.
Mm-hmm.
But 2 of them weren't. Those 2 were personal friends of Hunter Biden and business associates of evidently both Bidens. And because they were friends, they were spared Ukrainian justice. Now, I'm not an expert on Ukrainian justice, but that sounds pretty fucking fascistic to me on the Ukrainians' part, and completely corrupt on the Biden's part. And anybody who doesn't think that Joe Biden's decisions are influenced by his corrupt son has got
a moron.
They have it. I'm not even trying to overstate this. This is so amazing. Just the simple statement and unemotional statement of fact about the situation sounds impossible.
Well, it sounds like Zelensky's their butt boy.
We have a drug addict son of a senile man who has significant influence over the policy of our country. Mm-hmm. That is amazing to me. I cannot fathom that. Is anybody else just blown away by this, or am I overreacting?
It's in 2020.
I just say it's no big deal. Yes, modern day.
It's impressive. Whatever. It's impressive because not even the Kennedys thought of this shit.
No, they didn't.
And
they didn't dream this big.
Yeah, they pretty much worked every other angle, but and that's saying something.
Hey, JFK and I have one thing in common. Well, 2 things. We're both from Massachusetts and we both have Addison's disease. Well, he did. I don't.
Yeah, I was going to say he's past tense. You're not. So that's kind of the negating feature there. But I mean, the Kennedys, who knew how to work pretty much every angle that could be worked, didn't even have these kinds of balls. And I'm talking about
Harry. Where did you get that?
Dope. That's awesome. That's great. Isn't that fresh?
Oh, it's licking it.
Yeah.
That's it's just nearly indescribable.
It is the stuff of nightmares.
Yeah, to look at their eyes. Don't look at their eyes. It's not, especially the one on the left. That's not good at all.
It make really good meat.
That's kind of what he's looking at you like. I'm secretly a predator.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If I had teeth that could tear meat, I'd hurt you. Actually, deer can beat the shit out of you.
I learned a lot about roaches. And
why?
Jumping on your lap.
Ew.
When it's warm, they can fly.
And I like it when
No, they
kids jump on
can't.
your lap.
Yes, they can. When it
I've
gets
never
nice and
flown
warm,
through-
their metabolism gets up. You know, like Florida, Hawaii, places like that. They don't just crawl; they fly.
Oh no, well, your roaches.
Yep.
You're kind of talking about palmetto bugs.
Well,
they look like roaches on steroids, but they're actually palmetto bugs. Yeah, and
I
they
hope my
do.
kids like Maine.
They
'Cause that's the only place they're going on for now on.
they fly and they scare the shit out of little kids.
Actually, some cockroaches do fly.
Yeah,
Most of them don't, but some of them do. I have never known what that was. Adults have useful wings and can fly for short distances. If they start from a high place, such as a tree, they can glide for a long way. However, despite their ability to do so, American cockroaches aren't regular flyers. They can run very fast, and when frightened, these insects more commonly scatter on foot. So there you go.
Well, all I can
I tell
say
you,
is
palmetto bugs will change your life.
That's from Orkin.
a roach and a chicken fly into each other.
That would be pretty funny.
Well, both can only fly for short times. So
Mm-hmm.
chickens
So
can
if you
actually
dropped a chicken out of an airplane at
A
5,000 feet,
helicopter.
yeah, would it survive?
If you clean it up, it would
Not
do
if it's
the job
frozen.
for you.
It would depend on its glide ratio
Yeah, it would. It would. I guess.
and its
Prevailing
aerodynamic
winds.
configuration. If it could, kind of tuck its legs in a little
Prevailing
bit,
winds.
straighten out what kind of shape it was in.
Whether it had the
had a lot of
sense.
fat on it.
But it just as God is my witness, I thought turkeys could fly.
You know what they do to the turkeys in Guilford, Connecticut? At Easter time, they dye them Easter colors.
Did
Like
living,
what
Kid you
Easter?
not.
living turkeys?
Yes, alive, walk-in turkeys, and you can go and see them.
Oh,
And
They dye
purple.
the turkeys.
yeah.
Yes.
Meaning, is this a systemic dye? They feed them dye that leaches in like flamingos,
know
or
how
do they paint them?
I don't know.
I hope they're painting them.
How do you?
I didn't get a turkey to hold still for you to paint it.
Well, yeah, God, no kidding.
And why did anybody think this was a good idea?
How do you dye a turkey? This is a weird one.
They dye them when they're small.
Non-toxic vegetable-based food dye is applied to their blank canvases, as they call them, to create these bright colors. Okay.
Do you know that your
Wait,
FBI
so more
handler
than
just
just
had a
Guilford
stroke, Skep?
Okay, one at a time. Prospero, you first.
I said, your FBI handler just had a stroke.
Mm.
What the fuck does that mean? What's that code for?
So what were you going to say? What were you going to say?
I'm just shocked that more than just Connecticut does it.
Yeah, it's evidently dyeing turkey feathers is a big deal.
Oh no,
And
the whole
they call
turkey.
Well, yeah, that's the turkey's pretty
the
well
feathers,
covered.
yeah, right.
Pretty good. Anyway, they paint this vegetable dye on it. It sticks to their skin and to their feathers, and you have a bright yellow turkey or a bright, blue turkey, or because
oh my God, it's like
because that's important to someone, and I just can't see the value add. But okay,
it's like a smelly, ill-tempered peep. Why? Why? I mean, peeps are gross enough, okay?
Yeah.
But now you have to have like actual walking peeps.
But
so my kids hate peeps too, but we barbecue them. Not barbecue them. We put them over the fire and make them into a nice colorful s'more.
Yeah, no, that's not happening ever. I'm not eating whatever that color is.
Yeah.
Their kids.
But Harry has put up an interesting thing that probably is worth talking about. I see a couple of things happening on more than one level, I guess. This thing with Ohio, there's the political aspect. It's been a political disaster for the Biden administration, and it has ended. And I mean, ENDED ended. Pete, whatever his last name is, his career is over. It's history, toast.
Why?
He has zero, null set, void chance of ever being president, because he's proved himself that he's not a guy who picks up the bit and will go get something. And he had a chance to do it, and he didn't even. He had a chance to hit a home run, and he could have. It would have been fairly easy even, but he said, "No, I'm not going to go up to bat. You can't make me go up to bat." You know what? He's right. We can't make him go up to bat, but we can remember that he didn't go up to bat at all. And that's what happened. And that is a feeling Americans generally just don't like. They will never, the majority of Americans will never rally behind this very ordinary, very substandard leader.
But he was mayor of South Bend.
Yeah, they call him Pothole Pete because he couldn't even manage that.
Oh, yeah.
He would fill the potholes. Pothole Pete, fuck him.
Yeah. He had a chance in other holes. I said it.
Yeah.
I'm not proud of it, but I said it.
He's a master of self-care. He's proved that. Let him go care for himself in retirement. He'll have a nice fat retirement. He can be one of these softest asshole hangers-on, used to be important for 100 years. For the rest of his career, for the next 30 years, while he's professor at some feckless university, as the university system collapses.
Speaking of fat,
yeah, healthy at any size.
Oh my Lord, that distortion!
The new Ford Mustang is really not a good car. This is from somebody who likes Mustangs.
That's cars. Not a Mustang. Is that really a Mustang?
Yes, it is.
You got it.
It looks like an SUV.
Yeah, it looks like a Kia.
It looks like a squished up Mazda.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Or those new Kias.
Somewhere Carol Shelby just
died again.
And cursed.
No. Don't gotta hammy.
No. I love the fact that Hemi became synonymous with performance.
Yeah.
The way it did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Never go full sphere.
Yeah.
Never go full sphere.
I sent you the colored turkeys, Skep.
Thank you. We say turkeys of color, by the way, Jenna. You're on the channel.
Sorry, I meant turkeys of color. No, they're colored turkeys.
I can't even.
Oh, good God.
That is just so wrong.
That is just.
Stop
weird.
it.
Yeah, stop. Bad idea. Go back to the drawing board. Anyway.
Well, stop with the vegan shit, okay?
She has one precious life. Does PETA ever stop to consider for a moment what is going to happen to that animal if you don't kill it and eat it? You're going to put a cow out on, let's say, the plains of Africa, the Serengeti. Here, cow, fly free, run free, plenty of grass and food and water. Go down to the watering hole. Everything will be fine down at the watering hole.
No more cow.
Yeah, exactly.
Big cat licking its paws going.
That cat is ground beef in half an hour.
I like steak tartare.
And they pull them apart. We kill them responsibly. What they really want is to control that by saying, okay, so it's better that the cow doesn't live at all than the cow live, use resources. That's what they really object to. Plus, give you pleasure, evil, fascist right winger,
Steak is
which is
good.
what they think is anybody who doesn't agree with their radical views.
Steak
Anyway.
is yummy.
Well, it's like the pinheads. I don't know if you saw that.
God, Harry, that is so perfect.
I
Hey,
do.
printer, can you please print this doc? Low on cyan. Don't worry, it's just black and white. No, fuck you. Low on cyan.
Yeah.
There's nothing beats this. This is still my favorite thing ever.
I do like this.
But this is my second favorite thing ever.
What is that grandfather doing to that kid?
Oh, you haven't seen this, Jenna?
She has. She doesn't remember.
Run
She was probably
run
feeling
through that, Harry.
shitty.
That's worth doing.
The grandfather, the kid's wearing a little shirt to surf. The grandfather's like, "It's a stupid fucking shirt. You don't surf. You've never surfed, lying little shit with your bullshit shirt. Fuck you."
How did they get him?
The second panel is just what tears me up.
I have a grandfather like that.
Your bullshit shirt.
And it's the fixed expression on Grandpa's face, you know.
There are times, I swear, I've never thought curse words at my grandchildren, but I have been to the point of I am fucking tired of this.
Yeah. I'm sick of you. I'm sick of your. You know.
I have had bad words come in. Within one particular case, I had bad words come into my brain, but
I never call any of my kids little shits. Never. Ever.
Therein lies the rub.
Now, I was going to call this one a little cunt.
So what do you think of this
I
one,
still live
Jenna?
with my mother, and she doesn't allow that word in the house. And telling her it's my house just makes her mad.
What, you know, and that's when you smile at her and say, why? You don't like people talking about you, Mom?
What about this one, Jenna?
Precious, great one.
That's an insult to James' culture.
No, that would be Ether Bunny.
Hmm.
That's not
Sorry,
Peter
kid.
Rabbit.
Ether. I didn't read it. I just looked over. It's funny.
That's just terrible, isn't it?
Well, I think I showed this to Skep. I think you enjoyed this one.
Yes.
Yeah, it was. You're not wrong.
It was in the heyday of Hardee's too. This is the early 60s. Hardee's was getting going, and the big rivalry with A&W root beer stands.
And what in the world is the lady in the background by the red? Almost looks like a Gran Torino. It looks like she's probably just carrying.
That's a T-Bird. That's a T-Bird salon.
Oh, it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's probably got a body in that sack.
Just out of curiosity, what's the smoke?
That's a nuclear explosion.
That's a nuclear explosion. That is a nuclear test. People used to take pictures of themselves in front of the nuclear tests in Nevada.
That's not a nuclear explosion. That's something else going off. It's the 80s, not the 60s.
Yeah, get under your desk. It'll save you.
They never taught us the bend over and kiss our ass goodbye maneuver quite right. You know, they should have been teaching us how to do back bends.
You know, I understand this. I mean, you can spoof somebody's name by using I think it's a Cyrillic A is exactly the same as but it has different Unicode as a Western A. And that's just one of many examples that it can be. And that's what we're looking at is the Unicode codes for, you know, the semicolon and the Greek question mark.
I don't believe in punctuation.
We know.
Oh, anyway. Yep, that's a little bit of a look under the hood of how your keyboard works.
Different kind of punctuation, Jenna, but
I'm ashamed of America, and it. Oh, good, cut her out.
Lucky we weren't in a helicopter. You know, that's something I love the most about Pinochet's. He's the gift that keeps on giving.
I think he's driving on the wrong side of the road.
Well, why do you say that, Prospero?
Oh, because of the commies and helicopter jokes.
Gotcha. Yeah,
The
absolutely.
never-ending commies and helicopter application of jokes.
Well, you know what the South Vietnamese called that particular maneuver, the one-way helicopter flight? They referred to it as the freedom of the sea, because that's what they would do. Is they would take off in a helicopter, usually from someplace close to a port, fly out over the ocean, go up to 500 feet. That's all you need. Mm-hmm. And start throwing people out of the helicopter, and it's a pretty fast death. It's brutal when you hit water from 500 feet. It's like hitting cement. Exactly right.
Yeah, it's why so few people ever survive jumping off the Golden Gate.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, not a good idea.
In there.
No, it isn't, because water gets hard from a height.
Well, it beat my titanium.
I think if I could practice it,
it'll liquefy. It'll liquefy you.
Is this one okay to show?
I love that one, though.
Yes, I think it's okay.
No, that just hits the illustration so wrong. Perspective, y'all.
By the way, how do we differentiate between penis bearers and non-penis bearers? Are we down to that particular formulation?
I'm not sure whether
no. There's such a thing as
or not.
You can have a feminine penis. It's not.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I mean. If they have a feminine penis, they are penis bearers. So if they identify as having a penis, if a person identifies as having a penis, either by actually having a penis or imagining that they would like to have one, I'm serious. Is that how we differentiate? Is just by the absence or presence of a penis?
No, we don't differentiate. It's because it's a social construct.
So penises are a social construct, right?
Yeah, it's because if you tell the child that they're a boy, then they will grow a penis, and if you tell them they're a girl, then they won't. By the way, I think this one's okay as long as we don't explain it. I think this is okay as long as we don't explain it.
Yeah, actually, my mother finished her master's degree. She had a couple of courses. She was a couple of courses short for getting her master's degree, and they let her finish at the agreement was reached between Juilliard and North Texas. 30 years after Mother left Juilliard, she finished her last two courses at UNT and got her master's there.
Awesome.
Yeah,
good.
It's kind of a fun story. But she's I have very, very positive.
Where is UNT?
It's up in Denton, DENTON.
Oh yeah, no, I know, like North Texas State University.
Yeah, University of North Texas.
Oh, that's what they call it now?
Yes.
I heard it.
UNT. It's UNT.
North
That's what it's just UNT. That's all you hear. Nobody calls it University of North Texas except in documents and stuff.
But I heard it as North Texas State University. So it was.
Well, that's the old name.
Yeah.
That's the really old name. That's like when it was a teacher's college. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, exactly.
Like UNC Greensboro was.
Many schools in the South. UNC
Carolina
Greensboro is a good
College
example.
for women, and it was almost always for women.
Auburn was a land grant university.
Yep. Well, it's like there were two Randolph-Macons in Virginia. There was one in Lynchburg and the one just 15 miles north from where I live. And one was Randolph-Macon College, and the other was Randolph's College for Making Women. It was Randolph-Macon Women's College. Oh, yeah. Oh, you put bangs and a mullet.
And a Mountain Dew.
What? I don't. That may belong to the other kid.
Just kind of sitting in the middle, like,
yeah.
He has a cup.
You know,
this kid looks more RC Cola to me.
Alternate caption. Good at math.
Is his ears pierced? No, he has ear thingies.
That's just an. He said a NAS.
Yeah,
he
for the
said
noise.
A race.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that is. That's NASCAR stuff right there.
Well, those aren't NASCAR bleachers.
No, they're not NASCAR bleachers. I knew you were going to say that as soon as I said that.
Small dirt track somewhere in the middle of bumfuck bleachers.
Yes. The
Dollar General. That's so good.
Is that a Yugo? Or is that
That's a gremlin.
A gremlin. That was my second guess. That was a gremlin.
ANC.
Oh yeah, the back window. I forgot that. Yeah.
Oh my god, the dollar.
How did you people survive to be old with these cars?
We ask ourselves that every day. Sometimes we ask ourselves why we tried so hard to do so.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my grandmother still, even though she doesn't drive, still puts her hand across you if you brake and you're in the seat next to her.
My mother used to do that.
Yeah.
My grandmother still does it.
We were in a fairly serious car wreck in the middle of Brussels, in downtown Brussels, coming home from church. And no seatbelts on. We fortunately came to a safe landing. All survived.
Yeah, I got introduced to the ashtrays that were on the back seat of the Plymouth Valiant when my mom had to hit the brakes pretty quickly because I was sitting in the back.
Your head went forward.
Yep. No seatbelts in the back. Remember, they started putting them in the front.
And they had those flip down ashtrays.
Yeah, it's just the ones on the back of the seat.
Right, exactly.
That either flip down or you just pop the lid.
Right.
Yeah, it smacked my head on that. But the squirrel survived.
Yay.
I was fine. I was fine. I didn't break skin or anything.
Oh.
I did that just hitting a wall. It's really kind of funny. A light bump on the crest of my eyebrow, just in the right place on that brow ridge.
Mm-hmm.
6 stitches.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. That's water wings shouldn't look like that.
Hey, I know who that
is. Yes, it is.
I like this.
That makes me happy.
There should be another slide of him running away.
I like his glasses.
I listened to the Ballad of Pancho and Lefty yesterday, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, I mean, it happened.
Emmylou Harris doing it.
Oh, really? Well, I was thinking more Willie and
Waylon and the boys.
No, Willie and Merle.
Merle Haggard.
Haggard, yeah, because the minute Harry said federales,
my
brain went, all the federales say they could have had him anyway.
Yeah. Should send this to Johnny.
Could have had him any day.
Send that to Johnny.
And then
yeah.
They only let him get away out of kindness, I suppose.
Yeah.
That's her dicks.
No, they're not. Not all of them.
Evil.
No, they are not. Not all of them.
Okay, all cats except yours are evil.
No, they are not. Their eyes reflect light, but so do dogs.
Well,
you get some pretty damn demonic dog pictures, but I do like the.
I don't like dogs either, so we're good.
Oh, what's the matter
I'm
with
not a pet
you?
person. My pet is a sea lion. All right.
Okay.
They don't live near me.
Low maintenance, yeah. You're not allowed to take them home with you.
When my godson was in preschool, he was at the preschool that I taught at, and I got called into his preschool room. Well, I was in the infant room, and they said, we had them draw their pets, and he drew a sea lion named Tyler. And I said, yeah, that's his dog. That's his puppy.
Mm-hmm.
And the teacher said, why do you allow this boy to think he has the sea lion as a pet? I said, because he does. go to the aquarium and watch Tyler not do the show because my godson's in the audience and he wants to play with my godson.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, the teacher finally was like, all right. That was Ricky working at the aquarium. That's how Tyler became a pet.
Isn't it amazing how inculcated it is in teachers and everyone else to just like completely fuck up the dreams of people?
Yeah,
You know
actually, do you have an example you want to share with the class? But yeah, I agree with you in principle.
No, I'm talking about Jenna's story.
Oh, okay.
So he draws a picture of a sea lion, you know, and they're all worried that a child in preschool is delusional or something.
Yeah,
it
was ridiculous.
He doesn't. He's too young to have a pet himself. Okay, no 4-year-old is taking care of the family pet. All right, we know that they might. Mom and dad might say this is your puppy, but they're the ones taking care of the dog. You know, the kid's playing with the dog. I know damn well from personal experience how that goes. But just to immediately, it's a problem because he drew a picture of a sea lion.
I got called out of my classroom.
Yeah, and the other thing that I think is amazing is he drew a picture of a sea lion well enough for them to recognize it was a sea lion.
He's very talented. He's actually a marine biologist now.
But, Kit, big surprise. See, despite the attempts of teachers to shit on his dreams, but it's almost that kind of conformity theater starts so early.
Yep.
And that's what I mean. It's just amazing how they go out of their way to just make something out of absolutely nothing.
Well, they were concerned about him because my friend was a single father. The mother took off. So he didn't have a mother.
Oh, yeah, and because fathers are just such helpless fucks who can't.
Let me tell you.
I swear to God. I don't know why more men just aren't.
Ethan, I'll tell you my friend's name, Ethan. It's probably one of the best fathers. It still is. He still has young because he got married and he got adopted. His son got adopted by his wife, and he's a great young man. He's in his 20s now and a marine biologist.
Yeah, you touched on something else that irritates me is this fathers don't matter kind of thing.
Oh, that pisses me off.
Yeah, that,
Oh, don't get me started on how much fathers shape daughters. Fathers teach. Oh my gosh.
Fathers, like mothers, help raise both sexes of children. I'm sorry.
What is it about the left that they glorify ugliness?
What is it about Che Guevara too? But yeah, the
left, people of the left are ugly. I'm sorry, that's just the truth.
Look at the hair on the dude in the background.
Oh God, no!
That's appropriation.
Yeah, stealing from Greek culture.
Remember Moldy Locks?
Oh, Moldy
Yeah.
Locks.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Okay, I'm going to give you a palate cleanser.
Thank you.
Oh wait, hold on. Well, before the palate cleanser, here's the group that was patrolling Evergreen College after they got the police to go away.
I remember them.
Okay, here's one for you, Skep, and then this will be the last one, and then I'll behave.
Intellectual bunch. Excellent. Yes, perfect. Excellent. Let's see. Y equals cosine x would be right. Yeah, I mean, that would yield that sine. Yep, sine wave. That's perfect. That's marvelous.
I have brain
I
damage.
love that.
I don't have to answer that.
The X cube tickles me.
Yeah.
When the Y equals constant, yeah,
But
that was a great idea.
But that looks
What a
like
great
a
idea
Highland
that was.
coup
You know,
with a deformed horn.
Calculus.
Calculus. Lol.
Lol.
that'd be a pretty easy Photoshop to do. If
Yeah,
it probably was a symmetric horn and they just did a photo reverse on it.
But that looks like a Highland cow.
It could be.
Aren't they they're the only red-headed, long-haired cows I know of, are the Highland.
Well, there's Tess Holiday. Oh wait, no, sorry.
Yeah, I was just selecting my beefy role model for that joke.
Oh, yeah, and there's Chanty Binks too.
Go to moveon.org.
Yeah.
Oh!
Any of the women on The View.
No. I'd forgotten about Chanty Binks until her name just popped into my head.
Big Red, yeah.
Yeah, Big Red, deliver me.
I wonder.
The View is actually a really good punishment for children.
No, it isn't.
Especially little boys.
No, that's evil. That actually is that's evil.
My kids have done some evil stuff that deserves some.
No. They are not serial killers. They're not axe murderers. That's child abuse.
Fine, I will stop abusing my sons.
Binks has a blog. She's got a Tumblr blog. STFU everything. So we'll plug Chanty Binks's blog on Tumblr. STFU and space everything.
Shut the fuck up, everything.
Yep. So
what a lovely person.
She's so original.
Yeah. This is anyway.
Heart attack holiday.
Heart attack. Yeah. That is calculus, though. That is
basically, one of these attention firecrackers that exploded in internet space, and now just she's like a tribute band of herself.
Pathetic middle-aged.
Yeah, she's doing Chanty Binks's greatest hits right now.
See you next Tuesday.
Yeah.
Right.
Lizzo?
No. Lizzo is actually kind of funny in person.
Yeah, Lizzo, I kind of like in some respects.
Yeah. I saw her.
In fact, she's a good flautist. Makes me happy.
Yeah, I saw a clip of her on Graham Norton
person.
And she was talking about the Grammys because she was there with Adele, who, by the way, in an interview is a pip. Adele is a hoot.
Is she really? Is she?
Yeah. She's just so.
I'd like for her to be down to earth and okay, but
yeah,
I don't expect that from the genre.
But she's pretty funny, and she tells funny stories on herself.
I like that.
Yeah. But Lizzo and Adele were apparently at the Grammys. Mm-hmm. So fucked up they had no idea which end was up.
Oh, okay.
Because
they're singers.
Adele, I think she had a flask on her. So they were just. She said, "Oh my god,
she's a proper English woman."
So drunk.
Yeah.
Adele
probably had a snuff tin for cocaine.
Adele was talking about having run out wearing. She had to run out somewhere for something, and just throw in her tennis shoes and like a muumuu kind of dress.
Mm-hmm.
And a gust of wind caught her, and that's when she remembered she didn't have any knickers on. And she was just like, "Oh my god!"
Suddenly, a cool breeze.
More than a cool breeze, she had onlookers.
Did the full Carmen Miranda?
Yes, she did. But hearing her tell the story was kind of charming because she just. One thing I do tend to like about British celebritards is they don't take themselves as seriously as America's celebrity culture does. they just don't seem to be able to, you know, because they take the piss out of each other all the time. And they just don't have that. You know, you get they sit down to put on their socks.
Mm-hmm.
That's they all seem to have a certain degree of remove from the aren't I special that infests so much of our Hollywood culture.
Yeah.
And it's always interesting on British chat shows to see how American actors fare. If they're very, very good at mocking themselves and that kind of stuff, they tend to go up in my estimate.
I personally think that James, not my James, but that James guy, that
James Corden
everywhere, needs to be sent back to Britain.
Oh God, they never should have brought him over in the first place. The idea that they hired him to replace Craig
Conan?
Ferguson.
Oh, Craig.
Oh, was just
I loved Craig.
God, that was just revolting to me.
Okay, if I get this right, does this mean I'm a genius? Harry's test.
Don't, please. Don't say it out loud, Jenna. For the love of God, don't say it out loud. It's a Rickroll meme.
Yes.
I know.
Just don't say it. But God damn it, because that is, no matter how much you say, oh, it's a Rickroll meme.
I've seen permutations of this one so many times. As soon as I saw the always, I just went, I know what this is.
I know. And the thing is, I'm trying to tell my inner ear, no, shush, no.
I still love this. All the, I just think it's great.
One of my favorites was the do wah diddy diddy dum diddy do one with the Mountain Dew and Diddy.
He's not Diddy anymore.
Diddy. I know he isn't anymore.
Prospero's gonna kill me somewhere.
No, I'm not.
Like the ocean breezes gently tickling your balmy. Feels so good. Sun on your back.
Let me tell you about
ukulele.
Love on the Dunes of the Cape. They're full of poison ivy.
Yeah.
And sand.
It's sand.
Sand is enough.
There's
I've never
reason.
Had poison ivy.
There's a reason sand in your Vaseline is an expression. Who put sand in your Vaseline? You know,
just to change the subject. Here's a weird fact. Both of my brothers are highly allergic to poison ivy, like hospitalized. I've never had it.
Well, that's one thing
I'm immune to it.
Yeah, please, Jenna, don't say that out loud a lot.
Yeah, that stops.
I am not.
I was once immune to it. I was immune to it till I had enough of it, and then boy was I'm very sensitive to it now.
I got poison ivy.
I can get it from a breeze.
At camp, around my ankles. You know, typical place to get it.
Yeah.
But, oh my God. Jesus.
Just always get that on my forearms and my legs.
Yeah.
Hate that. Weepy.
So my brother moved to the city where there is no poison ivy.
Poison ivy, poison oak, poison sumac. The South is a great place to live.
Yeah, the sumac is.
It's everywhere. The fucking roaches fly. You know.
Yeah.
Pollen blows through the air. This is the harbinger of spring. It's great.
You're close to Washington, where if you go, you're gonna get some kind of STD.
No, I never think of and you know the thing is I now live closer to Washington than I ever have. But I just cast my eyes toward the south.
DC, not state.
The back of my house faces south, and all I think of is there you are. We're going to get a Buc-ee's in Virginia, it looks like.
A Buc-ee's? I thought that was a Texas thing.
Well, they're all over the South now.
Yeah, it's spreading.
It's spreading a little bit like gonorrhea, but
it's heading up usually mostly in the Midwest. Mostly in the Midwest, and it's starting to hit the east, some of the eastern states.
Well, it's in Georgia, Florida, North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, and Kentucky. Tennessee. I'm not sure about Kentucky. But where they're talking about putting it is actually reasonably convenient, as in less than 30 miles from where we live. So, woo-hoo. On I-64 between Richmond and Williamsburg.
Yeah, a Buc-ee's located in the right place is a great long-term investment for a big amount of money. You got to put in a big piece of money to get in that game, but man, they make money hand over fist.
Well, the one they're looking to build a 74,000 square foot store.
Yeah.
Now that's not New Braunfels. It doesn't have stadium seating in the bathrooms. You know, where you could like bring in bands and stuff, but it will have like, I think
kind of that's actually kind of true.
No, I know the new. I have looked at the Google.
The ones down toward Texas. The one down toward Texas. From
the New Braunfels.
Yeah,
is the largest one they have, and I have looked at that on Google and went, "Holy shit!"
But there are actually several very elaborate ones that the owners have done up. Real special.
This one's going to have 126 petrels.
God, that's amazing. That really is. That's just completely
slots.
Overdone.
And of course, the restrooms are legendarily clean. And I'm just thrilled.
That's a lot of fixed costs,
Beaver nuggets.
Perry? Doesn't it seem like a lot of fixed costs right there?
Or like a Buc-ee's?
Yeah. If you put in how many petrol stations did you say?
I think it's 126 slots.
126 slots. That is.
It needs to be the. I'll bet
that's at least double the usual investment of a Buc-ee's. At least double.
Well, you've got to realize,
and you're putting that all in one place. It's got to support itself. That's the thing. So what I'm saying is you've got a certain amount of fixed cost that just having that equipment there and having it be ready to be filled with petrol and service customers is it's a big cost.
Well, they're putting it on Interstate 64 between Richmond and Williamsburg. Which means
that's a very good idea.
Which means between Richmond and Virginia Beach.
Right.
Also.
That'll be perfect.
It's a heavily traveled tourist route.
Absolutely. Lots of loose dollars go down that freeway. Absolutely.
And it's not right on top of Richmond, and it's not right on top of Williamsburg.
I love Williamsburg.
A convenient area, and there is
Williamsburg.
Land is not all that expensive in New Kent County. So getting a hold of the property.
Oh, there's land and there's land.
Is not that big of a deal. There's very little development at that particular exit.
Oh, really?
But there is a sizable...
I expect that will change.
Sizable neighborhood being built not far from there. There's a Pilot and Lowe's gas stations, but they service trucks. And Buc-ee's doesn't. Buc-ee's doesn't service.
No, Buc-ee's is for mom and pop cattle.
Yeah. And, it's not going to be that it's
a big area to keep cool. Wow.
Well, it doesn't get as hot here as it does in Texas.
I wonder what sort of incentives they're getting from the Virginia government or locally.
Oh, I'm sure they're getting a good bit of it. Because
wonder how much interest they had to trade to the governor to get that break.
Well, I mean, not to Tim Pool it, but it's complicated, right?
Yeah, right.
This is sort of the thing where you work in a job, for 20 years, you get your cost of living increase, and then somebody comes in from another company, same work experience, gets way more money than you. Well, they're new. We had to give them more money to bring them in. Well, in the case of this Buc-ee's, I'm sure they're getting all sorts of incentives in terms of tax breaks and other things that are going to make it to bring new business into the area.
And taxes in that county are not high. They're not super high.
Well, but there's also the state taxes and everything else. So if you've got a nexus where a lot of traffic's going in and out and people are taking stuff away, they're not just sitting there and eating. They're getting back on the road.
Yeah, they don't have places for people. You get the to go. So
see, that totally changes the way the equation works. If you're running a restaurant, the cost for each individual seat in the restaurant is something that's very hard to deal with, right? So you have to do things like mark your liquor up by 3x. Your food cost needs to be 20%. There's just rules that you use for stuff. But as soon as you take a lot of the waiting tables and tables themselves out of the equation, like you come in, you get your crap, and then you leave, the economics of that are a lot more forgiving.
There were people in the comments on this article saying that they decided they had to stop at a Buc-ee's because they had never been in one, and they stopped on one on their way back from Florida and Georgia, and they said, "I'm still not the same."
Yeah.
And I have to go back because I only skimmed the surface of that place that is Buc-ee's, and it wasn't just the beaver nuggets. It was the fact that they are, we have Wawa and Sheetz here. But Buc-ee's is nothing like that. It's like, there's a place on I-95 just below the North Carolina border in South Carolina called South of the Border. And it is an experience unto itself. It is kitsch on steroids.
Okay.
It's fireworks and ashtrays and a guy named Pedro who's a cactus. And all kinds of just it's a singularity of weird. But it's south of the border and it is unique.
Interesting.
Buc-ee's is somewhere between Wawa's and south of the border.
Okay.
You know what I mean? You can buy a t-shirt, you can buy a sandwich, and you can buy an ashtray.
Yeah. I did want to just quick make the comment that Harry made a really good comment that didn't get
I want
enough.
those leggings.
Harry.
Yes, they're French fries.
Those are French fries. Okay. I thought they were leaves.
I bet you could buy those at Buc-ee's.
Yeah, I bet you could.
Probably.
Yeah. They'll let you wear them out.
Yeah, but I'm not paying whatever that price is.
Buc-ee's isn't a total budget buster either. It's...
Well, I did want to say one quick thing about what Harry said. I've been waiting to make this comment for a long time.
I accidentally said something good. Okay, what was it?
You did, and you said that when you take those loose, basically you're talking about the loose linkages that exist in the restaurant when you're talking with waiting tables, and when you abstract out all that, those are just risk pockets all through that. With a waiter, the waiter has to show up for work. The customer dynamics have to be right. There's all the stuff you got to manage in the waiting area and shipping people in, shipping people out. It's just massively different when you turn it into a store where people come in, buy a product, and leave.
Yep.
It's massively less risky. You just really do pull a lot of the sources of risk out of it. And I don't think I think that we're changing as a society. And I think that the idea of being served food by a servant will vanish in the next generation. almost virtually vanish. It'll be an affectation.
Maybe.
I hope not. I love
it's the hospitality industry for a reason. And if people stop craving hospitality and all they want to do is eat, I guess. And
well, I think people will stop traveling. That's one thing I really do believe will happen. People will stop traveling.
Really?
Yeah. I heard that
it's too easy to see what you want to see without leaving your rocking chair.
Oh, I'll never stop traveling.
I think people. I don't know. I don't think that'll be in just one generation.
I heard that Europe is going to charge you entrance fee now, in 2024.
Well, one forward-thinking British community is, I think it's Oxford, is controlling the number of times you can transit in and out of certain areas. And you have to check in with, the police to enter and check out with the police to leave. But hey, everything's totally free. It's fine.
It's an attempt to control congestion.
That's what they said. Yes.
Yes, but they're actually controlling movement. Governor, I don't know whether it's Governor Hochul has approved, has an opinion on this, but New York City is talking about adding a congestion fee for Lower Manhattan.
Yeah.
$30 a pop. Do you know what that is going to do to tradesmen?
Yeah.
Guys in the trade. It's going to cost them at least $100 a day.
Yeah.
To send people to work on buildings down in Lower Manhattan. That married to what Hochul wants to do, which is bump the payroll tax for the greater metro to pay for the MTA improvements. That is going...
Hochul and that lot have done the impossible. They are getting rid of the congestion in Manhattan.
Yeah, people are going to leave.
Good on them.
People are going to leave. You know,
Pizza Rat's never had so much elbow room.
California racked up 700,000 departures between 2020 and 2022. Texas picked up 800,000 new residents, I think. And Florida picked
officially a couple hundred extra thousand.
And Florida picked up a butt ton. Virginia had a net loss, but it was 25K.
That's not
much. I can't take the Northern Virginia congestion anymore. Kind of movement, not we can't stand this movement, which is some of the California flight.
How did Maryland do?
It wasn't way up there with the really stinky poo-poo states. I
figured Maryland might gain. I thought Maryland might take in some of the refugees from insane places like Connecticut and Virginia. Sorry, Virginia's a kook state as far as I'm concerned. I couldn't live there anymore.
The northern part of the state has fucked up an awful lot of stuff.
It's horrible up there.
But the Democrats never could have gotten a Buc-ee's in the state, so I'll give that to Youngkin.
Okay.
I mean, at least he's more pro-business.
Serious comment about the state. I think that Virginia is a hot mess.
I don't think it's anywhere near as bad off as you think it is. I mean, certainly not fiscally, but it will be eventually.
I think you've got a demographic problem that's going to get worse in the north.
Oh, yes, we do. We have too many goddamn Yankees moving down.
You're going to turn into little New York. You're not a purple state anymore. You are a blue state most of the time. I don't think you're purple at all.
Last several gubernatorial rounds notwithstanding.
Well,
we have
governor's a different deal.
We have two blue senators, and we have a lot of Democratic state representatives. So, it's a dark purple state.
Darkest purple. Only by dint of your weird gubernatorial candidates.
The problem is this has been my home for 40 plus years.
And I understand that.
Which is
I
why
have warm feelings. I love the state. Don't get me wrong. I love that.
That's why I didn't want to leave.
One of the most beautiful states in the United States. It has unparalleled beauty.
I didn't want to leave the state, so what I did is I moved to what would be considered a safe county.
Yeah, that was a good move.
In that,
Gun wants to know what state you're in, and I'm not comfortable steering your state.
I'm in Virginia.
She's in Virginia,
the state of Virginia.
I'm in the nation of Texas.
It's where we accepted Cornwallis's surrender. She says with an evil smile on her face.
It's where we said, "Fuck you, Mexico."
I'm either in Rhode Island or Massachusetts. It depends on Harry's mood. Harry's in California.
No,
we all know that.
He's not in Connecticut. He'd be marginally happier if he were, but only
except for the humidity.
Okay.
Oh, get over yourself.
My God. How humid do you think it is in the western part of Connecticut? It's not like it's part of the South. And also, they don't have any state income tax.
I still don't want to move to Connecticut.
I don't blame you. I wouldn't move to Connecticut either.
Connecticut.
If I move, it'll be farther south. I mean, I don't ever want to move again. That's the problem. I could not bring myself to leave this area, even though I did spend a lot of time looking at different places in the country farther south of here to live. I wouldn't go north for love nor money.
I don't blame you.
And I don't want to get too far from the Atlantic.
Oh, I'd never leave the Atlantic Ocean. Luckily, if I move, I'd move into London, so...
You'll be a good distance from the Atlantic Ocean at that point.
Yeah, you don't want to live in London.
No,
I don't want to live.
If you want to live near the Atlantic, but you can't get in the water.
Good move, Assassin, by the way. Assassin said he escaped New York to Pennsylvania.
Yeah, that was a step up. I didn't want to move to South Carolina.
I don't blame you.
North Carolina is intolerable, especially the northern part of North Carolina.
Well,
barbecue's good.
What part of the northern part of North Carolina?
Chapel Hill is so.
Okay. We're kind of moving into central at that point. Yes. No, I wouldn't. If we had looked at moving to North Carolina, it would have been Wilmington area.
Well, that's different. Wilmington. Yeah.
Way away from the Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill, Apex, Cary shit show.
If you're gonna go there, why not go all the way up to the hills? Go up to Boone.
No, I'm not.
My sister lived in Boone for 30 years.
It is 6 hours from the fucking beach.
It's a college town. Why would you want to live in a college town?
No,
it's Appalachian State, and it's not the worst.
Yeah, it's Appalachian State, and my cousin was a track star there.
Aren't you impressed? I knew it was a college town.
Just find out if Serenity's got a friend who's a realtor, and then just move there.
No, I'm not going to West Virginia. I'm not going farther west.
East.
I'm already too far from the goddamn water now. Not going inland any farther. I'm not going to live where it's colder.
Prospero, if I walk a mile either way, I hit the ocean.
Yeah, shut up.
Yeah.
But you live in Massachusetts, and I can't.
E-town.
I can't live in Massachusetts.
How far up the
You lived in Massachusetts.
I don't want to live in Florida either. How far up the who? How far up the where is where, Skep? You were getting ready to ask.
Oh no, I was thinking about the Mississippi as a bay. How far up the Mississippi is it a bay of the Gulf of Mexico?
How far up the Mississippi is it a bay of the Gulf of Mexico?
Effectively, for purposes of
20 miles.
Most shipping. No, it's much farther than that.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, as far as
it is one hell of a lot farther than that. Yeah, I think to Minnesota.
Yeah, it would
Minnesota?
be. Yeah, it would be to
That's
Minneapolis.
not
Just about Minneapolis, St. Paul.
Are they drunk?
No,
The
I
Mississippi
identify
goes-
that as a bay. I'm calling it the Mississippi Bay from now
No.
on.
No,
Yeah.
it's not.
Because
Since
Mississippi
words
is
don't matter.
bay.
No, it isn't.
Mississippi is
because-
bay.
Well, then that makes the James River a bay.
Yes, the James River has long been a bay. So is the Potomac, and Washington's a port city.
No, the Washington, yeah, except nobody's going there with anything to deliver.
Weed.
We get
Nuclear
more in the
weapons.
way of shipping here in Richmond than they
No,
do.
just some drums. Just salvaging some drums.
We get a lot more
That
water
one's blue. Looks like it's
No,
Shit
that's
stuff
not
like
here.
the
mashed
metal's on
potatoes.
fire.
than DC does.
That's not mashed potatoes. That's
And then Balmer.
what did they call it? The gross stuff. Damn it.
It doesn't really narrow it down.
Yeah, so much
Cream of
waste.
wheat.
Coleslaw.
Coleslaw is not gross, but that is.
Coleslaw.
This
Good
is a
coleslaw
plate.
is a thing of beauty, is it not,
This is-
Prospero?
I don't have to like it's vinegary and it gives me
I
heartburn.
Love
Well,
vinegar.
It depends on your style of coleslaw.
The good stuff is vinegar.
But by the way, that last one, Harry,
Yeah.
with the entire container of coleslaw sitting on top of the barbecue
Yeah.
sandwich was really kind of funny.
I like Carolina barbecue.
I like Carolina barbecue fine,
Me
but I don't need to have coleslaw on it.
I like
Oh,
I like
I
a
like
pulled
it that
pork
way.
sandwich,
I like
slaw
my-
on. As long as there's no
Yes.
freaking peanuts in the coleslaw, it's fine.
Yeah.
British
As long as the
guy,
coleslaw
you
is
don't
not
coleslaw.
sweet. As long as the
Well,
coleslaw is not
And
sweet.
there's different styles of coleslaw in North Carolina too, with the
Yes.
different regions. So
Peanuts, though, who puts peanuts in their coleslaw?
communists.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Yeah.
I've actually never had peanuts in my coleslaw.
I've seen
Baby.
mustard.
Puppy kickers.
I've seen mustard in slaw, but I've never.
Baby
And that is
snacks.
only It was only Cajun that I saw mustard in slaw.
It's just cabbage
Ew.
plus dressing, and there's
I've never
lots
had
of different kinds of dressing. Now, the Piedmont style stuff, I think, is the one that's got the weird red coleslaw. No, I'm not a fan of that, but
Like kimchi.
still.
I
really do not. I like a lot of Korean things. I do not like a lot of the whole flavor palette of many Korean foods, though.
Oh,
And their version of sake is one of the most disgusting things ever. I I hate it. I don't like the taste of kimchi. I don't like any part of it.
Kimchi is disgusting.
I love gochujang.
You guys make great monitors, really good washing machines, but
I eat
but no.
entire jars of kimchi.
You can
I
have
just
my
open it
portion.
and it
just-
bubbles up, fizzes up. And
Do you
I
like
just-
sauerkraut, Harry?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you
But it
don't
doesn't
like
have.
you
But it
don't
doesn't
like
have
kimchi.
the thing is that the Germans, kraut is like a flavor profile. Okay, and I can deal with kraut. I don't like that funk that's in some sort of like kimchi
You
type
have
things.
to
I'm
get
just
used
not a
to the
fan.
smell.
But a
You
lot
have
of
to
people-
get used to the smell.
I don't want to get used to the smell.
A lot of kraut
He
is
doesn't want to do it.
a lot
Okay,
of
that's
kraut
okay.
is
Yeah.
fermented though. It isn't just
Oh,
pickled.
I like
don't want
lots of
fermented
lots of
anything.
fermented things. I mean, and stuff. I just don't like kimchi.
You like fermented grapes.
So you're a kimchi
Yeah.
phobe? You're a kimchi
Yeah.
phobe.
Yeah, because
Because if you
clearly
don't
my
like it, it
dislike
means
of it.
I can't
Yeah.
say what
It's
he is.
fear-based, right? It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't say what he is. I'll wait till the show's over to say
Yeah.
what I thought. But the Piedmont barbecue also has that strange admixture between the tomato-based barbecue sauce and the Eastern vinegar.
I like the vinegar sauce. I like the South Carolina mustard sauce. I like almost everything about all Carolina barbecue. I just think the Piedmont coleslaw is a little weird.
Well, taking the coleslaw aside, what do you think of tomato-based barbecue sauce?
Well, I don't look to the Carolinas to get that.
Well, that's
You know,
Western
like, I don't have a
Carolina.
I mean,
Texas to get
I don't
that.
have a problem with tomato-based barbecue sauces as long as it's not Kansas City diabetes sauce.
Yeah,
I-
no,
No.
Like Memphis Heat or something like that.
Yeah, I'll do that. But if I want a tomato-based sauce, I don't think
my Carolina barbecue.
My go-to is not the Carolina. I know that it's not the Carolinas. I prefer the hogwash, the vinegar sauce, honestly, and I like the mustard sauce from South Carolina.
I don't.
If you want
don't have ulcers.
If you want a not too sweet tomato-based sauce, there are a lot of those that come from Texas. That's a thing.
Sweet heats.
No, sauces. They're not sweet. They're not over sweet at all.
Well, sauce is just an accommodation, honestly. A lot of Texas barbecue, they'll sneer at you if you even ask for sauce.
Right.
It's just a thing they do to try to be hospitable, honestly. Yep. Sauce is not you don't really need sauce in Texas barbecue, usually.
What do you think of
Not if it's done right.
What do you think of Alabama White?
I love it on chicken.
Yeah, it's really, really good on chicken.
It's really, really good on chicken.
It's okay on turkey, too.
The thing about Alabama white sauce is it's basically a mayonnaise-based thing, and it goes really well with smoked poultry because it keeps it from drying out.
Yes.
Right. It can save a turkey. Exactly.
Yeah, Alabama white sauce is actually really good. But then again, I'm just a white boy, and I like my mayonnaise, so what can I say?
But Alabama white can come in a variety. I mean, I've had it that's got kind of a kick to it.
Yeah, a lot of pepper. A lot of black pepper sometimes. I like black pepper.
Which can work, believe it or not, with something like prime rib.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So if you've got like a smoked slab of prime rib, Alabama white can work with that. It kind of replaces horsey sauce that, using a horseradish style of sauce with meat because it's got the pepper and sometimes like cayenne in it also.
Do you like horseradish, Prospero?
Oh God, I love it. I almost
me too.
When I make cocktail sauce, I have to be careful not to turn it pink. If you know,
you
get my drink.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Because I have, and then I've gone, oh Jesus, that is too much. I can't tell that I'm eating shrimp. I could be eating a tiny.
You mean like this smoked prime rib that I made?
Yes. I hate you.
Beauty.
I hate you. I hate you. I love you. I hate you. Ship that.
I'm coming over for dinner.
Yeah.
We had.
That's good.
I need to make another one.
He won't ship food. I've been trying to get him to do it for a year now.
I'm gonna send him a whole big bucket of dry ice and go, please.
I'll send him whatever he needs. I'll give him a couple of my kids to ship it home.
I can't fly into California because I'm not spending a dime in that goddamn state.
Excuse me. You guys know much more about cooking than I do, so I have to ask Harry. How big was that? How big was that roughly, and how long did you cook it at what heat, if I may ask?
And
I don't actually go like smoke it like it's a brisket because it doesn't need to be. I just like to give it a little bit of smoke. So what I'll do is I will smoke it over indirect heat for 2-3 hours maybe, and then finish it in the oven.
And what do you finish it at in the oven? Well,
normally what I will do with prime rib is I will put it really hot for like 20 to 25 minutes and then turn the heat way down. So you really, for like this, you don't want to be over 300.
Right. Okay. So you would turn
it like my dad does.
Yeah.
You turn it up to 500 for ticky tock, because that's what you get, that incredible kind of almost char across the fat layer.
Yeah. Well, you see, this has got some bark, but it's not overcooked in the middle.
Oh, no, it is not.
It's got that Maillard reaction,
the Maillard reaction,
makes it taste like duck.
No, actually,
that's why it's called the Maillard reaction.
Yeah. Just duck.
I still think you all suck, though.
Is that a bone? That was not a bone-in ribeye.
It was, but I removed the bones.
Yeah, he dissected it. You can see that.
I can see the split between where the. Yeah. I cannot get that bone out to save my. I'm just not good with knives.
It's a skill. I think it's hard to do. I'm decent at it, but
you should see me with a turkey carcass, honey. At the end of Thanksgiving, I wash my hands really good, and I get in there with my fingers, and I just start pulling.
I can't remember if you hate lamb. Does anybody here just hate
lamb? I love lamb.
I love lamb. Love me some lamb.
Okay, so this is a butterfly leg of lamb, and then it's basically garlic and herbs and stuff just into a paste. Just put it and then roll the whole thing back up, and then cook it in the oven.
That'd be worth taking the ulcer medicine for.
Of course, I've had some disasters. Me, but, I've had disasters with embedding spices, like embedding garlic cloves and stuff. I've learned not to do that. But this just seems like a fabulous idea now. But that just circulates all through that piece of meat.
Yeah, I have to. I think this is the one that had. Also had a little bit of pomegranate molasses in it. It's really good. This is actually a Chef John recipe that I adapted.
Pomegranate molasses.
So you basically rouladed a leg of lamb.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
Oh, that's one of those rollade things.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those rollade things.
You see that little glorious that little glorious piece in the non-cut portion of the roast that is just slightly 1 o'clock from center. It looks like that, like how there's that little bit of meat in poultry between the shoulder blades, kind of in the back, that little golden nugget.
Yes, the 4 golden nuggets of chicken.
Yeah, I'm going for that piece right there. You can have your little slice stuff. And I am going to be.
You get the gobbet of flesh that's just.
I'm getting the gobbet. I'm getting the gobbet of rare lamb, is what I'm getting.
This is a beef tenderloin over oak.
Oh yeah, nicely.
Yeah, I'll cook a cheap cut of meat. I'll cook an expensive cut of meat. I'm an equal opportunity carnivore. It just depends on my mood. It's actually pretty hard to cook something like that properly. It's pretty challenging.
Tenderloin is weird because it's not all that fatty. And it's that I like meat that's got fat on it.
The key to cooking tenderloin for me is use enough butter.
Yeah. Introduce.
Sorry, but that's what I do.
external fat.
Yeah.
Because
I think,
it's not like a ribeye.
I just keep it buttered all the way through. Yep.
I think the thing that offended you the most of all the food pictures, the one that made you swear at me the most was this one, where I did all the lamb shanks and then made them up and made them into freezer meals.
Who swore at you?
You did.
I did not.
You did.
You're imagining that because they're fine. There's Stouffer's does lamb with gravy. Is that?
I'd eat it.
Is that a red wine reduction gravy?
Yep. Yep. With a little bit of fancy vinegar.
Okay,
well, now I can't
eat it. Lamb is so gamey. Trying to make gravy out of any of the jus of lamb is a bitch.
It's easy.
Actually, you know what I did? I crushed mint into it and then added the wine to try to sweeten it up.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Because it took some of the edge off that.
Mint is good with lamb.
Oh, God, I love mint jelly with lamb.
Oh, hell
lamb
yeah.
chops.
Hell yeah.
Oh, my God. And you know what else works?
Life worth living.
My mother used to. I had never had a lamb chop until my mother got this wild hair after having one. And she would put garlic and oregano on her lamb.
That's gross.
Well, no, it is not, because
no, I think she means the picture I put up.
Oh, well, you know what it is it's the veg. The veg looks so sadly frozen.
Yeah, it does.
And it looks like bananas sliced on top.
This will cheer you up, Jenna.
Pear limeade.
How is that going to cheer me up?
You know what I
not easy being green.
Pear and limeade, though, would go together well. You know what I mean? I hate to say that.
I don't like pear.
I love pears and I love limeade.
I really want to go on eBay or Etsy or something and find one of these.
Oh, that is so cool.
A Coke can?
No. The little pig.
The little hors d'oeuvre pig.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think Imaginary Girlfriend would think that was pretty funny.
It would be a great way, though, to do like skewers if you were doing like mortadella cappy and olives and tomatoes and MotZ or something. You know, like it's like antipasta on a skewer.
It has to have the hat though.
Yeah.
And apparently a Coca-Cola with it.
But especially if you were doing like spicy capicola or sopressata and mortadella and cubes or mozzarella cubes or, you know, olives, you know, because those are all pork derived foods. Except the olives. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think you should put pork on the pork.
I love making those skewers, you know, like with a smoked provolone.
Oh.
And mortadella. I gotta fucking love mortadella.
Those.
Mortadella. Oh.
What kind of cheese is that?
No, it isn't a cheese. It's a meat. It's Italian bologna. It's and with pistachio. Oh,
Italians have all the best luncheon meats that nobody knows about. You know, the
sopressata, capicola, spicy capicola in particular.
Capicola is everybody's
hard salami. Genoa. I love Genoa salami.
Genoa salami. Yeah,
I can take Genoa salami.
I've got one in the kitchen right now.
I can take a slice, like those little packets of Genoa salami. I can take one of those, and I can take like alouette herbs and garlic cheese, and just go mush roll.
This one has the white dust coming off it through the netting. It's
awesome. God, you got a really good one. Yeah, I
So,
buy the cheap shit if I'm gonna.
I'm the youngest one here, and I can't eat most of the things you've talked about because of ulcers.
Yeah, we're
Hey,
sorry.
Jenna, I had an ulcer in 6th grade.
You had an ulcer in 6th grade?
I had an ulcer in 6th grade.
I believe
What was wrong with you?
I was a little high-strung.
He had an opportunistic infection of his stomach lining by H. pylori.
They didn't know about H. pylori when I had this.
No, they said
what did they do for you?
They gave me phenobarbital and belladonna alkaloids.
They gave you belladonna for real?
Yeah.
They were trying to calm down.
But your pupils,
Donatol.
Yeah, basically.
Your pupils were beautiful.
But they were dull and non-responsive.
My mother remembers women using belladonna to dilate their pupils.
Oh, that's true.
I was going to say, do you remember being sensitive to light?
Yeah. So, in terms of food, though, I don't know if I've shown you this picture. Now, I really think that in the contest between Chicago and New York, that the Chicago dog is the superior dog.
Yes.
Now, I like the way they do it. So, in order to do this, I had to actually make the damn buns myself. So,
of course,
this is my take. So those are my homemade hot dog buns, and that's sort of me dragging a dog through the garden.
Don't you have a job or something?
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
But because you can't buy the hot dog buns here, so I had to make them.
The New England buns.
Not for Chicago dogs.
Harry, those buns are just perfect.
Those are poppy seed buns?
Yep.
Yeah.
Had to do it right.
No, New England buns, Jenna.
That's living well, Harry.
I have made I have a thing for making New England style hot dog buns. I know the difference.
King Arthur sells the mold so that you end up with the breaded.
Well, that's where I got them.
Yep, the normal bread side. Pepperidge Farms sells them, except you don't get clean ends. But you can at least get a little bit. But they have the top split hot dog buns that at least one side is toastable on the ends. If you tear them right or give them a little rub, you can make do if you have to, and you don't have to bake your own. Just saying.
I make my own hamburger buns too. These are my hamburger buns.
You're a brat.
Yeah.
They look really good.
Harry, good stuff.
We had a bread baking demonstration today, oddly enough, at Cooking Club.
Harry, is that a bakery tray that you just keep around your kitchen, or
what do you mean a bakery tray that I keep around my
rack?
kitchen? That's a cooling rack.
That's a cooling rack.
Cooling rack.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about baking, so that my questions will be stupid. I always get shooed away when the experts at the other house do all the baking over there. So we just get the fruits of their labor, which works for me. But so that's a cooling rack. This device. Okay.
Yeah, and then the finished product is like that. Why I have this thing next to a stack of records, I'm not entirely sure. But
why do you take so many pictures of your
what is on top of those records, Harry?
An Amazon box.
He has Amazon Prime, in case you were wondering.
I know, but you never put anything on an album.
Skep.
I know.
Skep.
Yeah.
Those
that bacon on it?
Those cooling racks are actually something that you can. Sometimes people will bake bacon on them.
Ceviche tostadas. I made the ceviche.
Oh,
man, that looks amazing.
I take pictures of food because I actually want to see as I improve. I sort of keep it as a record.
Document your.
Why do you have it in your sink?
Did you fry those tortillas yourself?
Of course.
Have you done quesadilla?
You know, it's weird. Quesadilla is this thing that just sort of magically appeared on my radar about 2 years ago. And before that, I never really heard much about quesadilla. And now all of a sudden...
What is it?
It's basically like the French dip version of Mexican food.
Except better. Way better.
But is this the cheese dip thing?
It's no. It's like you have like a fried, cheesy, delicious object, and then you basically dip it in like this extremely flavorful, like jus. It's a consomme that goes off on the side.
Okay,
so it's like super rich meat consomme with fried Mexican food.
Oh, okay.
But there is a style of cooking the beef for quesadilla. It's 3 particular peppers. It's just like a slow cooked chuck or brisket. And then what you do is you don't get rid of the fat from slow cooking that meat.
It says quesadilla is a cross between a taco and a quesadilla. Comprises a corn tortilla with either mozzarella or Chihuahua cheese melted with stewed meat. The meat is often beef, commonly brisket, in contrast to birria, which is traditionally made with goat.
Right. But because it's a slow stew cooked, they're using birria.
Mm-hmm.
But when you take that fat and you ladle it into a frying pan or on your planchette, and you take your corn tortilla and you fry it in that fat with the meat and the cheese, fold the tortilla over it, and then you dress it with onion and cilantro only. And, actually a little tomatillo salsa will go a long way with quesadilla. Yeah. It's really, really good because it's like the greasy.
Well, they sip it. Some diners sip the consomme instead of dipping.
It's salty, greasy, delicious, but
wonderful.
In a way, it's a bit of a giving. This is pozole. This is pozole, by the way. That I made.
Oh, that's an interesting color, pozole.
And then this is my chicken tortilla soup, or a version of chicken tortilla soup that I made.
So you do a light colored pozole. You don't do a tomato based pozole. Do you do
no
green chili? Green, yeah.
Yeah, pozole is usually pork and stuff. I go green. I don't go red.
No, I prefer it green.
Yeah.
And do you just use canned hominy?
Depends. Sometimes I have a bunch of stuff from Rancho Gordo beans.
Live washing your own stuff.
Yeah, I'm fine with the cans for that. With the canned stuff or something like that. But I have fresh stuff that I use in terms of beans and things like that from Rancho Gordo.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
that ranch
stuff, but I was figuring canned hominy would be.
Yeah, Rancho Gordo is one of those annoying California things. They raise a bunch of heirloom beans, and you have to subscribe to their bean club, and then they send you all these different kinds of beans. They're really good.
Their bean club?
That is
it's like
California.
A bean subscription. Yeah.
That is so California too, because it's the blob of avocado and cilantro sitting in the soup.
Mm-hmm. I'm not really good at making food pretty. I'm not a food stylist.
Actually,
it looks good.
It actually looks quite lovely. I was commenting on the presence of that much cilantro and avocado being very California.
Yeah.
I hate avocado.
I love avocado in certain things.
Well, I guess I haven't given it a like. I won't do. One of my kids wanted avocado
So do I.
toast. Wanted avocado toast, and I told them we weren't Californians.
Well, avocado toast is kind of silly.
It's stupid. I'm not spending $10 on an avocado for you to put on your toast.
It's a silly thing.
There's jelly in the fridge.
Or just fry some Spam. You need fat, here, have that, instead of the avocado fat.
I've actually got some avocados that are going to be ripe enough tomorrow. I'm making guacamole.
Yeah.
To celebrate Brenda's
I do like guacamole.
The big day.
My favorite.
But I have to be careful eating it.
Yeah.
I have to have it picante. I like picante guacamole. I like it with some jalapeno in it. Or if the jalapenos are dull, if you know what I mean, a serrano in it.
What? Why do they make that taste so good?
We've got the goods.
Good.
That's horrible.
Onions, cilantro, a lot of lime juice, salt.
What?
That's horrible.
Life is
we
good.
We actually
what a waste
prefer lemon juice to lime.
I love lime
because we like the more acerbic taste.
I think
lime is such a complimentary.
Lime.
Yeah, you like the sweet taste of the lime.
But salt, if they don't salt the avocados,
asparagus,
when you're making the guacamole,
about some spork,
it can be sad.
No. You have to have salt. You have to have garlic. You have to have cilantro.
See, I don't put
have lemon juice and
I wanted my kids to.
I don't use garlic.
How about some
key
biff?
Is not to use much garlic.
Yeah,
key is not to use much. All you want is the base.
There's 3 conversations right
Do you ever like tomato cut up in it?
Oh yeah, and in fact, I frequently will use not just that, but some of my own tomato sauce that I've made.
They really sell that?
Well, I mean, I will actually.
Do they sell it now?
No.
Some people dump in hot sauce.
Think so.
And that's I've had some of that, and it's really good.
You can have a wiener.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit like queso. You can make it any way you want to.
Yeah, well, just good things.
My dad used to work at Oscar Mayer.
You know what I made?
Which one do you want to emphasize?
He won't let us get anything but the beef.
A friend of mine was demonstrating Irish soda bread tonight at the cooking club. So I said, well, Irish, better stick with the corned beef. So I made Reuben dip.
Interesting.
It is actually pretty tasty. It's shredded Swiss cheese, cut up corned beef.
This is
you use cream cheese and kind of mayonnaise as your emollient factor.
If I don't go to sleep soon, I'm gonna die.
And
oh my gosh, look at us heading sailing into the 3rd hour of this show. I just have been enjoying the conversation so much, but I guess we should kind of shut it down. Let's
we still have 11 people.
The
poor pathetic bastards. Hi guys.
The
talk of maps and food.
Minions of the Zoo. Thanks everybody for coming out. Thank you, chat, for coming out. You're such a part of this show, and I really appreciate everything, all your attention, your witty comments. Thank you, panel, my friends joining me, Prospero, Harry Channel, and Jenna, hanging with me this evening. But we're gonna call it a night. The zoo is closed. Good night.